Hey guys, it's about 20 to 12 in the middle of the day on day 7 of Booktubeathon. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, did not vlog for day 6. I had no time. I was doing chores all morning, I then worked all afternoon, and I was out at my friends all evening. I barely had time to breathe, let alone vlog. I also did not have any time to read, which means I made no well, I did read a little bit of this before I went to sleep. I'm on page 38, which is not great. There is no way on earth I will be able to finish this, which means I will have not completed the 7th and final challenge of Read a Hyped Book. But I have a solution. In order to fulfill this, we're going on a journey across my bedroom again. Hello. Yeah, my bedroom is a mess, and there are dead wasps all over the floor. It is technically a version I have not read before. It is a book I've read before. It's a book I've been meaning to reread, and that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated edition which I got out of the library, if you'll remember from my first vlog. So yeah. This takes me about 2 hours to read. Yes, I know that's weird, but yeah. So, I will be reading this. Oh yeah, I painted my nails because I went out yesterday, so don't focus on that. Yeah. So, I will be reading this because I want to finish the 7th challenge. But I have to go to work soon, so yeah. I will hopefully vlog this evening, and then I will do a full wrap-up tomorrow. Bye! Hey guys, it's currently 11:27 on day 7 of Booktubeathon, and I have just finished Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which means I have completed the 7th and final challenge of reading a hyped book. I'm going to try and read a few more pages of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo before I go to sleep, and I will do a full wrap-up and page count in the morning. Bye! Hey guys! Booktubeathon's over! It's actually Tuesday now, and it's been over for 2 days. But Monday was very busy, so I did not have time to film a wrap-up, so here we are. I managed to read a grand total of 9 books during the TBR, and I started a 10th, but did not get to read it. So I have here my little notepad telling me, well, this is actually a post-it note, telling me how many pages I read on each book, and calculated here to sum up the total. So, on the first day, I read 645 pages, which comprised of the final 67 pages of this. As I go, I'll tell you if I'm counting them for any challenges. The final 67 pages of this, as I started this the day before, but did not get to finish it before midnight. I'm not counting this for any challenges, because I did not read it entirely in Booktubeathon, but I'm still counting it as read in Booktubeathon. So that's book 1, and pages 67. Putting that into my little calculator. Next off, I read Boy Nobody by Alan Zadoff. Oh, by the way, this was a reread, and as with all of the St. Clair books actually written by Enid Blyton, 4 stars. I'll explain why I said stuff in a minute. Boy Nobody by Alan Zadoff. This was a good book. At one point I got very worried it was going to do a tropey thing that I don't like, but it turned out to be a very good use of 348 pages. Putting that in. Four stars. This was actually a pretty good readathon for books. Next up, I read The O'Sullivan Twins, the second book in the St. Clair series. Oh yeah, by the way, this is counting for being about someone who is very different from me, as it's about a dude. And there are some other things about him that are very different to me. This, which is my book the person on the cover. As you can see, there are 5 people on the cover, so this did very well. And this was 184 pages. Everything's falling today. Everything. And after that, I managed to start Pantheon by Sam Bourne. Oh, this is also one of the books by Enid Blyton, so again, 4 stars. Pantheon by Sam Bourne. This was very weird and very confusing, and I wanted to get sucked into the story, but I just didn't, and I ended up giving it 4 stars because it is a very good book. It's just didn't capture me the way I wanted it to, but it's definitely a good read. So on that first day, I read the first 46 pages of this. On the second day of Booktubeathon, I continued reading this, but unfortunately still did not finish it. So I was still on 3 books, and I only read 20 pages of this because I felt terrible. So, that was not great. And on day 3 of Booktubeathon, I felt better but still didn't feel that good, and still did not complete this. I only read another 286 pages because this is a weirdly long book. And then I did manage to finish it before midnight, and if you remember me saying from my vlogs, I also read an ebook, both while I was reading this. I was also reading an ebook to break it up, but because it's technically a book on Wattpad, I don't know the page number, and it's just confusing. So that is technically a 10th book that I read during the week, but I'm not counting it because it didn't really do anything, I'm afraid. But on day 4, I finally managed to finish this and read the final 73 pages. And this counts for a cover buy, a book I bought because of the cover. Also because of the title, and technically because it's set in World War II, but mostly because it looks cool. So that is 4 books and 3 challenges down. Next up, I read Summer at St. Clair's. This was, I also read on day 4, and this was 183 pages. And this counts for my book I read in one day. That's 5 books, 4 challenges. Next up, I read A Study in Scarlet, which was 136 pages. It's a wonderful graphic novel. Oh yeah. This was also 4 stars because it's again Enid Blyton. This is just A Study in Scarlet, but graphic novel. The art is awesome. I gave it 4 stars. I love Sherlock. Not just the TV show, not just... I've seen the Robert Downey Jr. films. I own both of them, actually. BBC Sherlock. I've read various adaptations, and I'm currently reading my way through the short stories. And I've read this before, but I still loved it. I've read the actual book. I hadn't read the graphic novel before. The art is wonderful. 4 stars. This did not count for anything. I just really wanted to read it because I'm an idiot who went to the library. So that makes 6 books. Still 4 challenges. And I managed to start but did not finish Second Form at St. Clair's. These 2 got switched around, of which I managed to read 92 pages, bringing my day 4 total up to 484. That's just for day 4, that's not an ongoing total. On day 5, I did manage to finish this, and that was another 90 pages. This was also 4 stars, just like the other Enid Blyton St. Clair's books. I believe, yep, this is the last Enid Blyton St. Clair's book I managed to read during the readathon. So next you'll finally get an explanation as to why they all say Enid Blyton, but this was not written by Enid Blyton. This was written with permission of her estate by someone called Pamela Cox, who's written 3 books in the St. Clair series. This, like both of the other 2, get 3 stars. I only own 2 of them, but I only managed to read 1 of them. This is the book I read entirely outdoors, and was 167 pages. Thing is, Enid Blyton did write a good few of the books. She wrote 6 St. Clair's books, but she did not write 3rd form, she did not write 6th form, and she did not write Kitty at St. Clair's. Kitty is an entirely original character, as are the 2 in this one. I do love this book, but it's not as good as Enid Blyton. Sorry, but it's not. And so that makes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 books. Oh yeah, this one brought me up to 7 books read. So that's 8 books and 6 challenges completed. I also managed to read 18 pages of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which, as another one, and then on day 6 I managed to read another 20 pages of this, but that was before I went to bed. I did not manage to actually read on day 6 because I was so busy, which was really annoying. And this is a big book, so on day 7 I gave up on this, and I still had a challenge to complete, and I really wanted to complete that challenge. So instead, I read one of the books I got from the library, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the Illustrated Edition, which was another 246 pages. Oh yeah, my total for day 5 was 275, and this takes my Booktubeathon total page count to 1,976. Not including the ebook I read, because I don't know how many pages that was, because Wattpad is awkward. I love Harry Potter. I love the illustrations in this. They are absolutely stunning. My favourite one is... oh, I'll get to it soon. Where are you? There it is. This owl in chapter 1. I love it. I think it's stunning. This was an incredible book. I got it out of the library, I don't actually own it. I think that was a fairly successful Booktubeathon. Yeah. Bye.